Hi, I am delighted to welcome you to this episode of the Late Night Intercourse with Chioma. As usual, it is your host, Chioma Onyenucheya-Uko, also known as the Zast Family Lawyer. So I hope you've had a beautiful day. I can imagine you've had, right? Well, if there are any rough patches, I'm sure that you got this. And of course, I'm here rooting for you. So tonight, we will be discussing a sensitive subject, which unfortunately, I see that a lot of us trivialize without realizing the far-reaching consequences of this scourge. And what we'll be talking about tonight is forced isolation from family and friends. I'm sure that by just the expression of what we're talking about, you understand what it means, right? So, to simplify it, what we're talking about tonight is a form of domestic violence where one party forcefully isolates the other, which means forcefully restrains the other from having healthy relations or interactions with family and friends. This could be in the form of restricting them to remaining in the home, not allowing them to go out, not allowing them to receive guests in the home, and sometimes extending to things like stopping them from interacting with family and friends, loved ones, even on the phone and by other channels of communications. And you will wonder, does this really happen? Well, I'm sure that a number of us know that it does happen. And unfortunately, in most situations where these things happen, you find even the victims making excuses for their abusers. Or you find the victims feeling like they have no protection under the law and they have nothing to, no recourse except to just submit to their fate and suffer in silence under the abuser. I have good news for you. Under the VAP Act, that's the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, it is one of those forms of abuse that has been identified by law and, of course, prohibited by the Act. And this means that the law realizes that forms of domestic violence vary and are not restricted to physical assault, battery, and things of the sort. So it extends to things like financial, forced financial dependence, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse, I already said yes, and all those forms of abuse. So this is one form of psychological or emotional abuse where maybe the stronger or the one holding the advantage in the power balance within the relationship restricts the other or restrains the other or isolates the other from interfering and relating with other people. And when this happens, how does it impact negatively on the victim such that it can be termed an abuse? I'll explain that to you. One of the ways it impacts, or some of the ways it impacts on the victim include it deepens or occasions a sense of low esteem on the victim. You find that the victim begins to feel inadequate because he or she is not able to fully find expression to the fullest of his or her potentials because of that isolation. So they are forced to remain in the house. They don't interact as freely. They're not able to keep up with what happens with their family and friends. They're not able to even go out and just, get some fresh air or let down their hair. And if you will agree with me, sometimes the environment within the home can actually be overwhelming. Not because of any deliberate thing anybody has done, but because servicing a relationship is a hard work. So sometimes we need to, once in a while, just take a step out and let down our hair, catch some fun, meet other people, break the ice and all of those, and then come back to the grind. That is not to say that that means that generally marriage or domestic relationships are, tough work. That's not what I mean. But of course, it is, if you look at it in some other manner. So it can cause that person to begin to have low self-esteem. It can also cause real health challenges. The person may begin to unduly gain or lose weight. The person may begin to suffer stress-related diseases, including things like insomnia, inability to sleep, just because that person feels boxed in that relationship. And then it can also cause serious financial challenges for the victim. So tell me, how does a victim who has been isolated from family and friends find even the opportunity to engage with the rest of the public, even for economic transactions? So it means that that victim largely becomes dependent on their abuser, which further means that their abuser can at will treat them however they want, including depriving them necessaries and necessities when they do things they don't want them to do or things they feel they shouldn't do. So what it means is that that victim is likely exposed to forced financial independence, which will cause them financial challenges. Then, of course, the victim may also suffer, depression, mood swings, and in dire situations, feelings of, or have a sense of suicidal thoughts. That's one of the things that happens. So, and we know that depression is real. Depression is quite a thing. So for those who have had moments of depression, they will understand what I mean. So first, isolation from family and friends is one of those things that can cause depression and also cause bouts of suicidal thoughts. And then you find that while the abuser may feel, after all, I didn't beat him or her, or after all, I didn't, do any active thing against him or her, even the passive action of refusing them to engage with people who will make them enjoy wholesome and healthy relationships is an abuse. And like I said, an abuse that can cause depression, cause mood swings, cause suicidal thoughts. Then, of course, some of them may also resort to substance abuse because they are looking to find some joy, some comfort, some relief from other sources, because they feel boxed in, because they feel caged, because they cannot vent to a third party who may lend them a shoulder. They begin to find comfort from substance or from alcohol. And then in most cases, they may become dependent on those. And of course, we know that substance or alcoholic abuse is also a big social problem that has far-reaching implications, even on one's health. And many more reasons why it is something nobody should be exposed to, or none of our loved ones should have to condone. And this is me saying that for any situation where one finds him or herself in a situation where they are forcefully isolated or forced to keep away from their loved ones, do not misconstrue it as an act of affection. Do not ever mistake it to be an expression of love. I hear some of those arguments that it takes love to be jealous, and it is a jealous lover that guards and protects the one they love. Spare me that story. When you love something, when you love someone, part of what you do is to also trust that person or trust that thing. And if you trust that person enough, you would agree that he or she will have the discerning mind to be able to make informed choices and also enjoy their life to their full potentials. So what it means is that you will allow them enjoy their individuality and encourage them and help them in their other relationships as much as you can. So which means that when you isolate your loved one, you're not showing love. That is not love. What it means is that at that moment, you are encroaching on that person's individuality and right to the dignity of his or her human self. So, as much as possible, let us keep away from obstructing our loved ones from enjoying other healthy relationships. No matter how we wish to be, we may not always be there for them. There may be moments when life may happen and they will need someone else but you. And for those times, ensure that you are not the one who has caused them that deprivation, that they don't find the people who they can lean on. So, like I was advising you, if you find yourself in such a situation, ensure to talk to someone. Importantly, you may need to consult a family lawyer because, like I said, it is a form of domestic abuse and the law frowns at it. And it means that where you fall victim of such an offense, you have protection under the law and you may also enjoy full compensation with the instrumentality of the law. Don't be shy. Don't die in silence. Don't tolerate or excuse any form of abuse, including forced isolation from family and friends. Seek the help you need. Seek the help you deserve. You have a right to live your life fully to its best potentials. You can trust that I'm rooting for you always, and I am here for whatever questions that you may want to ask. And even if there are questions that are not directly related to this subject, feel free to drop them on the comment section. And if you would rather have a private conversation with me, use the phone number displayed below and reach out. I'll be more than happy to serve or assist in any way I can. So I hope we've had an enlightening and peaceful episode tonight. Of course, I'm here and available for whenever it is you need me to answer a question or respond to something that bothers you within the family law spectrum. Looking forward to having you again at the next episode. It is your host as usual, Chioma Onyenucheya-Uko, the Zest family lawyer. Do enjoy a restful night. Bye-bye.